Good morning, everybody. We have several guests today. We're going to have a lot of people offering remarks and kind of an update on current conditions, so I'll kick things off and then hand over for several departmental and community remarks. So good morning. Good to be back here in person. That itself is a credit to our Nashville Department of Transportation crews who've done an impressive job working 24/7 to keep primaries, secondaries, and now post-secondary routes clear. Again, anybody who wants to understand condition of roads and how we tackle this can visit nashville.gov/snow. So welcoming those joining us on the live stream as well. And I want to acknowledge off the top, we know there are still tens of thousands of Nashvillians without power. We're working hard to get you resources, to ensure you have information about available resources, and also our NES crews are out there working 24/7 to make sure power is restored as quickly as it can be. Here with me today are our Office of Emergency Management Director Chief Will Swan, NES Vice President and Chief of Customer Service and Innovation Brent Baker, Metro Nashville Police Department Chief John Drake, Metro Water Services Director Scott Potter, Department of Emergency Communications Acting Director Patrice Coleman, and Nashville Department of Transportation Deputy Director Philip Jones. Most importantly, I want people to know that we're continuing to pull together new resources every day to help Nashvillians. Today we have line crews and more than 1,000 line workers and vegetation removal teams working around the clock to restore power and make sure that where those outage sites are can be reached in the first place. Our warming centers continue to serve hundreds of Nashvillians. We'll remind you about all those locations and how you can request transportation assistance to reach them. We have the Metro Public Health Department making contact with healthcare providers to ensure they have everything they need to keep serving our community. Our emergency teams continue to conduct cold patrols, and our community partners are serving alongside the Office of Homeless Services to shelter more than 1,400 people experiencing homelessness in these severe conditions. Metro Water Services continues to work to ensure we maintain water and water quality for all customers, and WeGo is back to full transit service today with some route adjustments. You can visit wegotransit.com for more details. Now, one thing that's new today, our Office of Emergency Management has been in constant contact with TEMA about assessed needs. Our office has been in steady touch with the governor's office. You'll probably heard about the governor's executive order yesterday empowering TDOT. That includes National Guard support for clearing roads and trees in support of restoring power as quickly as possible, and we welcome that support. We've reached the stage of recovery where progress asking for patience becomes hard, and I see that firsthand. We know, again, how many people in our community, including members of our own family, my own family, still do not have power or have not had power for days. And when it comes back on, as it did for my parents the other day, it is a huge relief. But I know every moment that it is not on, including overnight, it is anywhere from frustrating to scary for too many of us. This is a once-in-a-generation storm. It is the most ice we've gotten on trees, power lines, and roadways since the storm in 1994, and it produced the largest outage event in NES's history, which has led to the largest restoration project in their history. In response to that, a few facts of where we've been. We've restored power for more than 100,000 customers. We've replaced 300 damaged poles, in the process of replacing 300 damaged poles, and again, 900 plus line workers and 215 vegetation teams working across hundreds of outage sites. It's a 430% expansion of the NES workforce thanks to mutual aid from 7 states. More crews are engaged right now than at any point in NES history. And for a little more context, I want to invite NES Vice President and Chief Customer and Innovation Officer Brent Baker to share another update with Nashvillians. Brent, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. We are aware and definitely empathetic with the community on what is going on and how hard this is to get through these cold nights. We are working across the community and making sure we're getting the restoration focused in the areas, as we mentioned, where we can get the largest volume of customers at a time. Right now, we have many places with over 1,000 customers out, and so as we work on those, that is the effort we are making to restore. Also, the conversation on some of our union relationships, we have been continuing to work As we make the effort here to continue to get the message out that we are bringing in as many crews as we possibly can, the checkbox to get crews here is to make sure they have the logistics to be able to respond at scale, to make sure that they are able to get here and work safely and incorporate into our system. Union or non-union is no checkbox for us. We are moving forward with as many crews as we can get and to continue to restore service. The places we have restored and that are still to be restored are in the map behind me. We will work with Mayor and his office to be able to get the map to a place where people can see this and that we can see the progress. You will be able to see this and look for where we are going as we progress. The different days, we'll make sure we update that. Also, we know that yesterday there were some text messages that went out when we were restoring service to some areas that might have went to people who did not have service. As we are making that, as we've seen that happen, we have stopped that from happening as we continue forward. And last night, customers still without power received a text to let them know that we are aware of that. As the days progress, we're going to try to incorporate more details about our restoration efforts to make sure people can find that information. It is important that customers get details about where we're heading and what is going on, and we are working to get that detail as quickly as possible. Additionally, some of our partners with TEMA, with TVA, and others are helping us get resources like the National Guard to help get with our crews to make sure there is no obstacle in our way to move quickly. And then lastly, I want to continue to thank SEIU, IBEW, and all of our crews who have helped us get the work done and to get where we are. There is nobody here working harder than those people on the ground. The men and women are dedicated to getting your power on, and we will continue to scale our resources so that we can accelerate restoration. And so thank you all for your help on this and your patience as we continue to move forward.
Thank you. So good afternoon. First, let me make mention with many emails and concern of all of our residents, visitors, and citizens of Davidson County. The first thing I want to make mention of is people are saying they're on edge, not knowing what decision to make. Should we wait, or should I go to my plan B? The safest thing that you can do, if you've got alternative means to stay somewhere with a family or a friend, go ahead and pull that. Use that plan. Let's look at this as the long plan. Don't wait to determine, I'm waiting for power to come back on, or should I go ahead and go to my neighbors or go to a family member? Let's be safe, and let's use the plan B if you have that. Also, I want to make sure that everybody understands, as I've always been stating, we make sure that we use a planned approach when it comes to these type of disasters. This is one that's unprecedented, as the mayor had stated. We look at 4 means to make sure that we're successful. We analyze the situation, we make plans, then we implement those plans, and then we're constantly reevaluating what plans we put out, and we have to come back and resubmit other plans. So we are moving and working to try to accomplish the task that is at hand, and it is a big task. But I want to make sure that you understand that even though these are uncomfortable times, they are, but I don't want anybody to feel like they're hopeless and helpless and there's no hope. If there is an emergency, you have an emergency, you call 911. We will get to you. We are responding to any and all of those calls. So is it uncomfortable? Yes, but please don't feel hopeless. Also, we have shelters that will be able to shelter you 24 hours, as long as you need to be there, where you'll be able to have a place to sleep, food and water, and out of the code. Also, we have several warming stations or places you can go, from the fire stations to the police precincts. Please utilize those. We are opening our stuff up to any and all means to do what we are sworn to do, and that's protect and serve, and that's what we're here for. Also, looking at our shelters, last night there were over 426 transports that we made to shelters. The Southeast shelter, we had over 80 individuals there. The fairgrounds, we had over 200. And then the Madison shelter had 60. We have space. If you need a place to go, please call us and allow us to come pick you up and take you to a place to get you out of the code. There is a lot of things that actually I could give out, but to our fire department, our OEM, our PD partners, the schools, WeGo, parks, social services, the Department of Homelessness, the Sheriff Department, the infrastructure is working diligently to make this work. Our Red Cross and our public health is making sure that we do have adequate staffing as far as medical attention inside of the shelters. We also augmented some of our personnel in our departments. You'll notice there's fire and police people that's working these shelters. So we have that capability, and we want everyone to just understand that. And as I close, because we do have a lot of speakers, please understand that we want to make sure that we're there and available for you. A lot of the facilities that have made calls that they were unsure of personnel that they could not contact or get in contact or communicate with, we always would call property managers to first try to see if they can contact the individual at that facility. And if we're unable to do that, we send our teams over to do a check. No, we don't. I wish I had the staffing to do wellness checks throughout the city. But in a case of emergency or a situation that we need to act, that's what we will do. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it to Chief Drake, and he has some important information I'm sure he wants to share with you.
Thank you, Chief Swan, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chief Drake, Metropolitan Nashville Police Department. The medical examiner's office is investigating the third potential storm-related death. In this particular incident, the individual was at home. His housemate found him unresponsive in a bedroom. When responding officers, when they responded, said they could smell fumes that was unventilated, and we believe that he succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning. It's important to note that when you use a generator, make sure it's not indoors. It has to be outdoors, not in a garage, not in an attic or anywhere else. It has to be outdoors. Also, take advantage, if you know someone that is staying in a home, they may be using a kerosene heater, maybe using a generator. If you can get out and check on them, do so. If you can't, let us know. The police and fire department don't mind going by to do welfare checks on houses. We have 180 detectives that we pulled off of investigations to supplement patrol just for these measures, to go out and make sure people are fine. Also, if you have a neighbor, neighbors have been great. I've talked to several people who have taken people in that are staying with them. If you don't have those means, you need to stay in a hotel, please do so. It's going to be cold again tonight. We ask that you do that. The roads have improved greatly, but there's still neighborhoods that have icy conditions, so we ask that if you get out, please use caution, drive slowly. As you come upon trees or roadway blockage, etc., cut on your hazard lights and then proceed slowly. That will alert people behind you and in front of you to slow down, and that'll help with a lot of the roadways that we're seeing. We'll continue to use our task force with the fire department. We're supplementing officers with NFD to take individuals to warming stations and to the shelters. We're paying officers in an overtime capacity to help work these shelters. So we're all hands on deck as far as the police department and the partnership that we have with everyone here. And so at this time, I'll turn it back over to Chief Swan.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. Just to reiterate real fast about these generators and having in your house, making sure that your house is very well ventilated. We don't want to run generators indoors or even using, again, kerosene heaters indoors without it being ventilated, because that is very, very dangerous. So please take consideration with that. I do want to mention real quick for Patrice, as far as the DEC 911, I know that the concern there is that there is an influx of calls with 911, so please be patient with that, with the call volume, and it may delay some of the calls. If you want to touch on that just for a quick second.
So definitely, there's an influx of calls due to power outages and many other things that are occurring. It is important to stay on the line. If you call 911, do not hang up. If you hang up and then call back, you end up at the end of the queue. So please allow our staff time to answer your call. It will be answered, but you overwhelm the system if you continue to hang up and then continue to call back. So stay on the line, give our staff time to answer the calls. They are there, operational, and will answer your call.
Okay, thank you. And we really appreciate the coordination with the Fire Department and Office of Emergency Management and PD working with our 911 partners during this time. So now we have Scott Potter with the Water Department. I know he has some more information that would be very helpful for all of us. Scott?
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Scott Potter, Director of Metro Water. First and foremost, there is zero concern about water quality in Davidson County and Nashville. If that changes, I will immediately let everybody know. Right now, we've got 9 main breaks that we're under repair. We've got 7 under investigation, and that number is going to go up. As we continue to thaw, we'll see more main breaks, and I need everybody to call 615-862-4600 if you see a main break or indications therein. Let's talk about what I'm doing at my house to protect my plumbing. My house doesn't have power, so what I've done is every faucet in my home, kitchen, bathroom, shower, whatever, I'm turning on both the hot and the cold tap at the same time and establishing a little stream of flow out of that tap. That's your best defense against any kind of frozen pipes. I'm getting questions about whether it's a better idea to drain the system. Well, if you drain the system, there's a risk that you don't open the lowest point of your plumbing system. And if you don't open the lowest point, you're going to have water standing in a pipe that's not moving. And it'll likely be a very small amount of water. And if that occurs, it's going to freeze, and it will probably damage your pipes. So there's one caveat to that. Now, if you have a grinder pump system on your sewer system, and people who do have that system will know, and you don't have power, you can't drip your systems because you'll fill up the reservoir from which that pump pumps. So that is a pickle for some people that have a grinder pump system. In that case, do your best attempt to drain your system and shut your isolation valve to minimize the amount of flow that you've got going, that you've got in your system. And also another suggestion that has come aware is visualize an addition over a carport. I've had people contact me and ask, why that froze and the rest of their houses didn't. You can think about that as like a bridge or an overpass, and you've got water, you've got cold air underneath. That's going to freeze first. So if you can, make sure that's flowing as much as you possibly can the most, because that's going to be your biggest risk. I want to stress the need to check unoccupied businesses and unoccupied homes to make sure that you've got water flowing in those residences and businesses that may not be occupied, because the water hasn't been moving. So if you have opportunity, go check that out. Finally, at my house, I'm going in the morning and in the evening to check my house, and while I'm there, I flush the toilets 4 or 5 times to get as much water flowing into it as I can. So the reason why is the water leaving the plant right now is about 45 to 46 degrees, and then when it gets into the ground, it'll heat up a little bit because the ground is warmer. But as it gets above ground and into your home, and you've got 32-degree air surrounding your pipes, from a heat transfer perspective, if you think about a pond will freeze before a river, and it's because the water is moving. So that's my report. Thank you, Chief Swan.
Thank you, Scott. Safest bet is to drip the lines. Now we have Philip Jones with NDOT. I know they've made quite a bit of accomplishments, but still got a way to go.
Yes, sir. Still got a ways to go. Just to let everybody know, our primary routes look good. They're clear. Secondary routes, unless they have trees that are blocking, that have a section of a road closed, they're clear and in good shape. We are working closely with NES to clear those trees, anything that has power lines in it. We work with them to make sure they're clear so we can get the trees cleared out of the way, come back, then we'll follow up making sure the snow and ice and the roads are clear. That's going to take a little time. Can't be all over the county at one time, but we're working closely. We have numerous crews out working with NES. We have partners coming in from TDOT that's working with us on some of these roads and routes so we can get clear. I'll also bring up, as we get a little bit, as people start cutting tree limbs and vegetation in your yard, please move all the brush and vegetation to the curb. Let's get it out, get it to the curb. We'll be coming back before you, letting you know what the plan is, but we have a plan to come in, remove all brush throughout the county. So we're working on that daily. We've plowed over 14,000 miles and salted over 14,000 lane miles in the county. I mean, the men and women have really worked hard to make sure that we can continue to keep the roads safe and open.